Hello and welcome to the premier video game debate show, Test Your Might on the Intrawebs. Here we are again, episode 109, bringing in the heat. We've got a special guest tonight and an old friend back in it, trying to earn those points. If you are listening to us on a podcatcher of choice, go ahead and leave us a like down below or leave us a review. If you're watching our pretty faces, some of our pretty faces, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button over there on YouTube, hit the bell notification, let us know what's going on over there. Today, we're going to be discussing a few things. One, Olympics, adding esports legitimately, like actually, Simpsons hit and run remake potential, and more. But first, let me go ahead and introduce the panel here. We've got Stubby Stan, not the stay-at-home gamer, but the Mafia Lord himself, back at it again. How you doing today, Cicero Holmes?
I am doing great. I am back at it again. I just want to say hi to my Knicks for me. Say hi to my Knicks for me. We're the New York Knickerbockers. Go New York, go New York, go. There you go.
And then we also have a friend of the show from InfinityBros, Jarret the Bear. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing awesome. I don't know if I can match Cicero's energy there. I feel like I need to give somebody a shout out. I'll give a shout out to my amazing dogs, my two boys, my wife. No, dude, I'm doing awesome. I'm excited to be back on. We were talking about it before the show. Last time I was on, I had like really bad COVID. So I had a wicked high fever. I was all doped up on NyQuil, and hopefully this will be a little less unhinged of a rambling.
Oh, you can make it unhinged if you want it to. I'm fine with that.
There you go.
Love that.
And I'm the duck, of course, back at it again. Quack, quack. He's back. I got a little bit of housekeeping here. We just released our Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets episode with Joe, Mike, and myself over there on the Intrawebs. If you like Harry Potter content, we're bringing one a month all the way up until Fantastic Beasts. So enjoy that. And our Best of Batman Dark Knight review will be out shortly, probably next week sometime. So stay tuned for that. It's been a little while. Let's do our Last of Us check-in. Jarret, have you been watching Last of Us on HBO Max or no?
I have. How cool are we with spoilers?
We usually do a spoiler-free review here.
Okay.
On the current episode.
There is a episode that has probably the most horrifying, heartbreaking ending, and I refuse to watch it past that. And so I love this series, but man, I got my heart ripped in half, and I am not ready to come back.
You're talking about episode 3, I'm guessing. Cicero, go ahead.
Not for the same reasons, but I am still also at the end of episode 3.
Oh,
yes.
Well,
so yeah. So I'm waiting for. I've been watching with my stepson Roger, and we just haven't had a chance to watch together yet. So I will not cheat on him with our show. So I am waiting for him to have some time to watch it with me.
I was wrong. It's episode 5 that I stopped on. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is painful. Just a heads up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a tough show to watch for sure. There's a lot of emotional turmoil going on. The newest episode I liked. It did call back to episode 3 for myself a little bit, but it was a pleasant surprise and a very nice story element that wasn't particularly needed, but very much appreciated. I'm still in love with it and enjoying it fully. And then that's it for our Last of Us check-in. On to what have we been playing? Jarret, what have you been playing lately? What have you been playing on the Xbox or the PS3 or whatever you play with?
On PS3. I got a PS5 and I've been rocking some Fallout 76, which is one I bought at launch and immediately returned. I thought it was so bad. And then they did it free for PlayStation Plus, and I have a lot of friends who play, and they're like, man, you just got to check it out. I promise you it's different. And
it works now.
It's good. Like, it's not perfect, right? It's not New Vegas, but it's fun in ways that I did not expect. Is it like a No Man's Sky level of comeback? Absolutely not, but I'm having a blast playing it. I'm always going back to Elden Ring, especially since, we'll talk about the DLC a little bit, but still stuck on that. And then my boys and my wife are really, really into Minecraft right now. And so always got to return to that. I feel like that's one of those that's just going to live on my hard drive forever.
Yeah, definitely better off than it was at launch for sure for Fallout 76. Minecraft is also something that's never going to leave my hard drive. Cicero, over to you. What have you been playing?
I've been playing Life Simulator on New Game Plus. It sucks. Don't recommend. I wish I could return it. But I can't. But in the downtime in the loading screens, I've been playing a lot of Marvel Snap. And Marvel Snap is awesome. I hate it because I keep playing it, right? Like,
do you have a rating for yourself?
Yeah. I'm still a C plus. I'm still a C plus snapper, right? so Justin in our chat constantly not constantly. He shows us how well he's doing, and he's like the end of games, and he's amazing. He's amazing at this game, just like he's amazing at most games. He's gotten to level 100. It is incredible. I won't even show what I'm doing, right? Sometimes I'm doing stuff that to me, I'm like, oh, cool, I did it, right? I'm still surprised-ish when I win. Yeah. Right. Like, I'm trying to win, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know that I got this. Right. I've got one deck where I'm like, this is the deck.
Yeah.
I've got one. Right. But I know that if I played Justin, my one deck would lose 99 times out of 97.
Right.
So
escaped.
Okay. See, I feel this because half of the InfinityBros are like they work night shift, and so they have a little more free time than me. And they're like showing off these crazy decks and combos they have. And I'm that same thing, man. I feel like that little kid who draws a picture and they're like, oh, this is cute, and they hang it on their fridge, right? Like, it's not good, but it's the best I can do.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You,
Meanwhile, they're painting Monets and stuff. Right?
Got Rembrandt over here. Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
Well, as Cicero alluded to, yes, I am playing Marvel Snap. I have hit Infinite on this season. I'm at 110 right now, so that's the furthest I'm gonna go. You can just keep going, apparently. I didn't either until this season, so that's the thing. But I know it drops you like 3 ranks or something, so I'll start off at 80. That'll be nice.
I just assumed you always started off at 10. Because that's or 20. That's because that's where I started off, right?
Well, I would give myself an A+ for this season so far, and it's like a day out. So other than that, Dead Space Remake, I am on New Game Plus now. So I went through on story mode, and then got everything unlocked, and leveled up stuff, and then I ramped up the difficulty. It's kind of like a personal handicap to make it a little easier for my single dad kind of thing. And it helps. It definitely does. I'm able to go through with powerful weapons, and it's really pretty cool. Overlord, you remember Overlord, you guys?
Yeah, I do.
I started that on the PC since I got a chair and I'm comfortable sitting here. I wanted to try it. I've got it on Steam, and enjoying that old school game that I used to play on the Xbox a long time ago.
Right. And, I didn't know it came out on PC.
Yeah, it's on Steam. 1, 2, and the Fellowship of Evil. It was a triple pack I picked up.
Okay.
Then I paid $3.99 for a game on Xbox called WebGen Speedrun Edition. And then you play a little spider in an old pixelated world, basically just using the directional pad to move around. You web sling here, you slide, you web sling back, you go up, you go down, you avoid obstacles, and it's kind of like a speed run through levels. There's only like 15 levels, so I 100%ed it pretty quick. I thought it was going to be like a Meat Boy that had more potential, but for $3.99, 1,000 gamer score, I'm good with it. That's what I've been playing.
Not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we go right into the namesake of the show, Test Your Might. For fans and listeners, this is a remix episode. Being the first episode of March, we are going to bring it in hot. And Jarret, you are the guest today, so you get to pick which debate topic you'd like to go through first. Just give me a number 1 through 4. That includes the blind fight fans. And he gets to decide which one he'd like to start with.
Let's go number 2.
Number 2. All right. If The Simpsons Hit and Run did get a remake, what features would they add to modernize it? But with a twist. Craziest answer wins. Jarret, you get to pick if you'd like to go first or second for this.
I'd like to tackle this one first.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so Hit and Run is sort of a in the genre of Grand Theft Auto, which has done a lot in recent years to add, online support and multiplayer. And I think that being online adds a next level to something like this. So you have Simpsons Hit and Run, and here's what it is. You have in-game events based on real-world events, right? So the example I was thinking of, you're driving around through the game and you see a Chinese spy balloon, and your mission is to hunt that sucker down and get all the information off of there, because we all know that Simpsons just continues to predict the future. So might as well bring what's latest and greatest in the world around us and just put a parody right in Simpsons Hit and Run.
Interesting. I like it. Cicero, what you got?
So first I want to say that I confused this game with Road Rage, Simpsons Road Rage, and I played both of those games.
Mm-hmm.
So Simpsons Hit and Run, what I think would make it even better is if in the game there was a portal that brought you to Futurama. And then you could have Simpsons characters playing in the Futurama DLC. Good news, everyone!
Jarret, go ahead.
Brilliant. That's great. And like, props to you, Cicero, for putting an effort out there. But truthfully, we all know that variety is the spice of life. And so, sure, you could lock yourself into Futurama and the tropes that already exist, or you could take inspiration from the actual real world, which is always changing, impossible to ever nail down, and so easy to satirize.
Go ahead, Cicero.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is great, right? Those things are true. However, we're dealing with the licensed properties of Matt Groening. So why not have the opportunity to take Simpsons characters and Simpsons iconic locales and transport them into the other Matt Groening thing, which is Futurama. And now you've got the ability to really cross the streams. So I don't know what's more absurd than that. Like, yes, satire is parody and it is absurdity, but what's more absurd than Homer Simpson in New York in 3099?
Go ahead, Jarret. Go ahead.
So my rebuttal to what is more outrageous than Futurama is all of America right now in the year 2023, and the nonsense that you cannot predict on the news is just absolutely unhinged, and stuff that if you would have told me 5 to 10 years ago would be the future, I would not have believed you.
All right.
Yeah. That is true, right? The president sometimes is stranger than fiction. However, you want to sell this game, right? So if you want to sell this game, maybe you stay away from full-on existential introspection and you move more towards comedic absurdity into the realm of Futurama and Planet Express with Bart Simpson playing with Bender. Bart and Bender.
All right. Now I'm really going to confuse you guys. But due to the fact this is a remix, I'm throwing a wrench in the system. I want you to give me 2 sentences each. But One sentence bashes your own argument,
Okay.
and the other buffers your opponent's.
So don't they both buffer your opponent?
Yeah, in a way.
So I'm dissing mine and I'm hyping up Cicero's is what I'm understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I think I got one.
All right.
All right. Whenever you're ready, Jared.
Okay. My first sentence is, I don't want Matt Gaetz in my video games. My second sentence is, you could throw in Enchanted and you have a second DLC baked in.
Okay, Cicero.
I was hoping that nobody would remember that Enchanted was Matt Groening's. And the great thing about the real world is you have endless DLC.
All right. For this debate, I think the strongest punch back was when Cicero said, "You want to sell this game, don't you?"
Yeah.
And that one,
Man's really said the real is way too real right now.
Cicero, you won that debate because of that. One statement of, you want to keep far away from that aspect of a game. It's good for a show, not so much for a game. You see what happens with South Park every other season.
Right,
That's
really.
fair.
Yeah.
All right. That's one for Cicero. Cicero, what would you like next as a debate topic?
I'm still number one. One. Shout out to Karis one.
So number one. I just want to clarify.
Number three. I said 1 4 times. One. Number one.
Okay. With the Olympics adding esports, I want you to pick the best game to use for the category archery and why. Now, the games were already announced. We'll talk about that later. But I want you to pick the game for archery that they should have used. Cicero, would you like to go first or second?
I'd like to go second.
Okay. Jarret, over to you.
It's got to be Wii Sports Resort. That is the best feeling archery I've ever had in any game. The actual challenge of messing with the wind and trying to find those trick shots that they hide out in there. I can't wait to see some Olympic archers just YOLO shoot it up into space and somehow hit the target that was hidden on the other side of the mountain. And the haptic feedback that you could throw into there would be phenomenal.
Okay. Cicero.
You know what? You gotta do it the right way and say Rise of the Tomb Raider. You're Lara Croft. You got a bow. You're hunting deer for food. You're hunting bear. You're out there. They're charging right at you, and you got to let them go. You got to Hawkeye that mess. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
Jarret, go ahead. He did just throw a Marvel reference in.
Yep.
I think you're muted, Jarret.
My bad. Yeah, Lara Croft is great and all. I don't know how to answer this seriously. But I don't need like subpar writing, decent to mid voice acting, and like the most cheesy death scenes ever in my Olympic archery game. I'll stick to actual archery.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah, we're not saying that we got to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, right? We just have to use the archery from it. So it's just going to be an endless loop of her hunting and trying to find things to shoot. And you can add birds but the feeling of being an archer in those games was very, very good. And that would be and it looks very realistic. So yeah, go for it.
All right, Jarret.
Okay. Sure. Sounds great. And I love the idea of every single archer being Lara Croft. However, would you take Lara Croft or somebody's horrible tiny face Bill Clinton that they made on the Me channel? I'd rather see tiny face Bill Clinton in the Olympics.
Okay, yeah. But I would rather see Lara Croft and Lara Croft's friends. And like maybe that the guy who was supposed to be on the ship with her, and then there's the person who got thrown overboard. Like there's a whole bunch of different characters you could be. You don't all have to be Lara Croft, but Lara Croft is the one that you play as when you're playing the game. But this is a version for the Olympics. They don't have to actually play the game. They're just using the game for archery.
Go ahead, Jarret.
The pain in your voice when you said that, Justin. You could still have Lara Croft. You would just have me version of her, and I think the absolute meme potential there is phenomenal and cannot be understated.
Yeah, it's I will give you that it's great for memes, but the gold medal is serious business. It's not meme business. And that's what Tomb Raider is about. It's serious business. You're out there doing that stuff for your survival, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to survive. They're out there. They've been training all this time to be the best so that they can win the gold. And it means a lot more when you're Lara Croft and you look realistic than a me Bill Clinton with a gold medal.
All right, Jarret, last one. Go ahead.
Yeah, at the end of the day, right, the thing that translates better to me as far as like actual talent and skill is being able to use the nunchuck and the controller as an actual bow and arrow, as opposed to pressing some buttons on a D-pad and getting the timing right there. I think actually having a physical element to it takes it home.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, but we're not trying to necessarily recreate the physical movement of shooting a bow and arrow. We're playing video games, and these players are training as video game players, and that's what they're using. So use controllers.
Okay. As much as I disagree with that statement, Cicero, because they are using Just Dance for the dance portion.
Yeah.
Cicero wins this argument.
Oof.
I think that the aspect of having the animals and the real life kind of situations, even though it's with a D-pad, you have to aim and also be precise with your aiming on moving targets as well as just stationary targets. And the visualization would be much better to watch than seeing as funny and meme worthy as
tiny face Bill Clinton.
As fun as it would be for the memes. I think it would cause a little bit too much controversy for the things that could be created. Because I've had a lot of memes in my library.
Yeah,
be created, and I'm sure you have as well. Cicero, that's a point for you.
Oh yeah,
that's 2 in a row. Jarret.
Yeah.
Which debate topic would you like next? 3
Feeling
or
the
4?
heat on this. Let's go 4.
All right.
The blind fight.
Feeling gutsy.
Are you ready?
Blind fight.
Okay. You ready? You guys ready for the blind
I'm
fight?
ready. Let's lock it in.
Let's go.
What Marvel character?
Whew.
That's how it's starting. What Marvel character, which does not already have a game announced or in the works, would you like to see a game made for? And pitch it to me. With a twist, of course, being the remix, obscure characters only. No lead roles here. All right, Jarret, first or second for that?
I'm gonna go second.
All right, Cicero, I will vamp for 10. I'll do a pitch here, a little plug, and then you will have your turn. Okay. So if you guys are still listening to them come up with their decisions for a blind fight here, Cicero is 2-0 to Jarret. He's got this question, and if you guys like what you're seeing or hearing, go ahead and leave us a review down below. Click the like button and let us know how you're feeling. We got a lot more to come in the debate section here. Cicero, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right.
I am ready. So, I guess I have one question. I am picking a Marvel character.
Mm-hmm. Obscure one.
For a game. Obscure one for a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to tell you what the game is? Pitch the game to you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes, I am ready. This particular character comes out of the X-Men universe, and as Jarret has already mentioned, the world's kind of a dumpster fire. Actually, the world is almost literally a dumpster fire. And that's a problem, right? That's a problem for the world. That's a problem for the sustainability of human life. Mm-hmm. We need to clean this earth up. And if we're going to do that, we need someone who can see toxic waste and do with toxic waste what needs to be done, which is remove it. So we call on the X-Men Maggot to come and clean the earth with his pet slugs, Eeny and Meeny.
There we go. We got Maggot over on Cicero's side. Go ahead, Jarret. Can you get more obscure than that?
Yeah, I know the goal is for me to trash him, but that's phenomenal, and I love that call out. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Hope Summers. I think we're seeing a resurgence of this sort of like father figure traveling with a younger ward. We've seen it in The Last of Us, we've seen it in Mandalorian, and the highly successful God of War remake. And so I think we have Cable and Hope Summers trying to flee for their lives through the time-space continuum and the adventures that they go on together. And we see this from Hope's point of view as she builds this relationship with Cable and tries to figure out what it's like to be the mutant messiah and hunted from the day she's born all the way in. And I think there's a lot you can do with that, especially with the resurgence of things like the new God of War series.
All right. Cicero, take out the trash.
That's literally what we're going to do. Right. So this game will not only be a like a message, right? Because you're actually trying to beautify the world, but also it's going to be an action. It's going to be an action game where kind of is almost like Captain Planet, right? Because you're going to have corporations that will clandestinely try and stop you from doing the things that you're trying to do. So they're going to be hiring like black site, undercover PMIs and stuff like that to try and take out Maggot, Eeny, and Meeny. And Maggot's going to use the toxic waste that he's gotten to as also as a weapon to liquefy these guys, and then he can take the toxic waste back. So like he has to expel it, and then he can retrieve it, and that'll help him power up. So he will gain, so it's going to be like an action RPG as he moves further within the game, and he tries to take down the people that are trying to prevent the world from being cleaned properly. He will gain more powers and newer abilities, and Eeny and Meeny also will gain more powers and abilities.
All right, Jarret.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've seen done well recently is these sort of like live, die, repeat iterations through time, going back through and making meaningful choices in a game that resets itself over and over again. And I think time travel as a narrative lends itself really, really well to that. How do you stop Bishop if he's always one step ahead of you jumping through time? And so finding creative ways around that as you're going through this narrative with Hope and Cable is something that could really, really be done well.
All right. Live action Wall-E video game version. Cicero?
Yeah, I mean, I guess to a certain extent that is something that you'll be doing. But it's going to be a little bit more grotesque, right? Because again, these slugs come out of his torso, eeny and meeny. So when he needs them, they come out of his torso. So it's going to be a little bit more grotesque. We're talking about, toxic waste and sludge. So all of those things will be effectively shown on screen. So you're going to have that, but you're also going to have a rich narrative. Think of like The Last of Us in terms of storytelling in this third person action RPG.
Okay. I'm going to give you guys each one more sentence. Use it how you will. Jarret, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to say after school special video games don't sell well.
Okay. He digged.
Yeah, he did. I dug. So I will say a great video game with a great concept is all that you need to sell.
All right. I do see this maggot-like Fallout game going around cleaning things and spewing toxic waste on other enemies and it working. But the action of Hope Summers sounds interesting. And also having Cable, the adopted father there, it could work out better in my opinion. The time jumps, the moving around, the action, fast paced, a little bit. Sure, a message of cleaning the world is great. But that's not really what Marvel fans want. They want those action scenes. They want to be the role of action stars, even if they're obscure ones. And I think Hope Summers over on Jarret's side will do that a little better. So that's a point for Jarret for Hope Summers.
This sucks because Cicero, you picked one of my favorite characters. And I'm like, dang it, I got to argue against this guy right now.
That's how it works. Love that. The heartstrings were pulled. All right.
Gosh.
We only have one more debate topic to choose from.
I'm glad I was able to, give you guys some justice though.
Yeah, for sure.
Cicero, what debate topic would you like?
Maybe I'll go with three, Justin.
Okay. Pick number 3, my lord. So the debatably perfect game Elden Ring is receiving DLC soon. So, in a game that is grotesque, what could they add? And also, pitch me an insane boss fight that they add. You can be as descriptive as you want. Come up with it at the top of your dome, or if you have an idea. Cicero, would you like to go first or second on that?
I will go. I will go first.
Okay.
I will go first. So, Insane Boss is. Oh man. This. Oh jeez. This is really gross.
Yeah, go ahead. And you thought Maggot wasn't?
Yeah.
Love
yeah. So,
like demonetized gross or like?
yeah, right, exactly. Like this. Oh man, how do you describe this? Okay, so um, this particular boss is two bosses at the same time because it is a decayed body that you have to break through. But once you break through the decayed body, what you find out is the reason it's decayed is because there were maggots, and then there is a humanoid, a gaggle of maggots that have taken the form of a humanoid that are also attacking you, and they can, project some of them out towards you as a weapon. And then they come back, and you can chop pieces off, and then more would like reform to where the limbs were.
So I'm thinking like an Oogie Boogie bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kinda.
All right, but more grotesque and more gross.
Yes. Yes.
That was fairly tame considering the game has a character named the Loathsome Dung Eater. So I was like, what's he gonna do that tops that? That's pretty cool.
Well, some of those bugs probably do eat dung.
They probably do.
Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a remix on one of my favorite boss fights, which is Half-Light: The Spear of the Church, which was from the Dark Souls 3 DLC. And what this did is it allowed you as a player to take the role of the boss. The boss was always a PvP fight. The way I would flip this on its head is the first stage of the fight, you face off with a group of other people in sort of a raid style boss fight. It's you and 4 other people. And as you're taking down this boss, one of you randomly changes places with it during the second phase. And if you're the boss and you wipe out the other 3, you win, you proceed with the rest of the game. But if you're with the other 3, you have to kill that raid boss on the second phase, which is one of your buddies with whatever their good build is, and just absolutely wreck them.
Oh boy. All right, Cicero, onto the what features would you add, and you could buff up your boss if you'd like.
Oh, okay. Well, what features would I add? It has the ability to regenerate. And it also will have rotating, so it would like rotating weaknesses. So every time you see that particular boss, it's what you call it will be RNG. So its weakness will be RNG. So like one time you'll see it and it'll be fire, and another time you'll see it and it'll be ice, or there's some, or like, you'd have to do a bleed effect on it or something like that in order for it to be killed. But you don't know when you first see it and face it what it's going to be.
So you're saying you lose to it, come back to fight it again, and it's completely different.
Different, yes.
That's tough. All right, Jared.
Yeah, actually, I kind of like that, and that is in the Soulsborne style. I think it's rather than touch my boss fight, because I like my boss fight right now, I'm going to talk about the features that I would add in a new DLC. I think true open world and the ability to co-op together and both be able to summon Torrent and travel around. That's one of the most frustrating parts of this game right now, and something that I think they should be fixed. And the ability, if you're offline, to actually be able to pause the game. I appreciate that Soulsborns don't have pausing, especially if you're online. But I'm a dad. I got 2 kids, and they always pick the worst times to like, oh, Dad, I'm going to throw up. Or James stuck an apple in the toaster. What do we do, right? I don't want to lose my run just because I got to go fish an apple out of the toaster.
Just because I have to Heimlich my kid?
Yeah, exactly.
Stop choking.
No, Dad's facing Margaret.
Cicero, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna take Jarret's lead and talk about. I guess I'll take his lead by following him on my next turn to talk about stuff that I would like to have in the DLC. I would like a spectate mode, right? I just want to be able to go and watch people's runs within the game, right? Like I don't want to go to Twitch, I don't want to go to YouTube. I'm just sitting around, I'm in the game. I've just had a bunch of rough runs. I've died a bunch of times and I just need to take a break, but I don't want to leave the game. So let me go watch somebody else do some stuff, watch what they're doing, sit over their shoulder, and just be a fan of the game to help me unwind for a second and inspire me to go back and play some more.
Okay, Jared.
I think the last thing that I would add that would really bring it home and lock in Elden Ring as the greatest game of all time is some hint at the narrative that every single Soulsborne game is connected. Because they've teased it for years that they're all in the same universe. And I want a storyline within this that connects everything once and for all and really drives it home for us.
Okay. All right. So, a few things to note here. Pause is nice. Jarret, that's very nice to add. Cicero, you didn't add that. So I'm assuming when you go and view someone else's stream or gameplay, you come back, your guy's dead.
Yes.
Not the best. But your boss fight was very good. The rotating weaknesses, that really changed it. Say you beat it on the first try and you say, hey, buddy, did you beat the infested maggot guy? You use fire to kill him, and then he goes in and he uses ice or fire, right, and it's his strength instead of his weakness. That would be, it would make you look like the bad guy, ruin some friendships.
Yeah,
it would be funny. Jarret, your boss, bringing back something that is beloved is pretty strong, and then also changing it up just a tad. Streamline storyline. That's also very powerful for Elden Ring. Topping what they do, riding the horse around with your friend, also beneficial. I would turn raids off because I don't want to be invaded. I would turn that.
Oh yeah,
that's what I would do. But just co-op without invasions. There's a mod on PC. Why can't we do it? Yeah, I'm gonna make it a tiebreaker here. I'm going to make it a tiebreaker. Jarret, you had too many strong points there. As much as I love Cicero's boss fight, as grotesque.
Yeah, dude, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's that kind of like throw my controller at the TV style boss fight that I want from Elden Ring. Yeah, where I'm like, he was weak to fire last time. Where'd that go?
And not only that, but knowing you were going to have to fight the zombified human or the decaying human first because there's waves of this fight. Right. And have to redo that in order to even see what the weakness was.
Oh my gosh.
That is Elden Ring to the T. But there were strong points on your side too. So tie game, on to the Metacritic score. You guys ready? This is out of 100, I think.
All right.
And I pick a game and then you guys give a number on what you think the Metacritic is. Price is Right rules for fans and listeners alike. If they both go over, it's closest. If they both go under, it's closest. And that's how it goes. Are you guys ready for the game?
I'm ready.
Ready as ever be.
The correct game you should have chose for archery is Link's crossbow training for the Nintendo Wii.
Nice.
For the Nintendo Wii.
With the peripheral.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, I sold a lot of those.
Okay, so out of 100,
I sold a lot of those.
This is the determiner of the point for this game, or this episode. Jarret, you are the guest. What is your number?
I'm gonna go 73.
Cicero?
What is the year?
You don't get that.
Oh, okay. 78.
The correct answer is 68.
Oh.
Whoa, Jarret. Oh. Oh.
All right.
Oh,
That's a
man.
point for Jarret for the end of the
I'm
season.
surprised the beloved classic Link's
There
Cross
you go. Wow.
wasn't
look
an
at
easy
that.
100.
Yeah.
Also,
68.
just for me, just for my own like curiosity, because I'm picturing you as like a Hoover vacuum salesman with the Lynx crossbow going door to door. What did you do that you were selling these?
Yes.
GameStop.
Was it GameStop?
Yes. So,
Okay.
ironically enough, I was a door-to-door vacuum salesman.
Were you really? That's
Yes,
awesome.
I did sell vacuum cleaners door-to-door, but it was at GameStop. Yes, the place where you stop for games.
Man, they got to bring back more peripherals like that.
Jarret, you are
Wait.
currently tied with Chris Clow for 1 point each.
There
Look at
you
us
go.
All right.
See what not being drugged up on NyQuil does to me. I'm a new man.
Came from behind too.
Yeah.
Also, Jarret, this is your time to shine. A quick word to your fans. Anyone who believed in you, you'll get a plug towards the end, but this is just for your fans.
Okay. To all you who believed in me, which I think is probably just my wife, thank you for that. Because it's definitely not the dudes on my podcast. I think our audience loves me just because I have the face of a 17-year-old boy with slightly more facial hair. So I'm a bit of a charmer, but I think Isaac and Max and Zane are the clear favorites. So if I do have one fan out there, thank you for believing in me.
All right. And we go into the
fans
news. All right, let's talk about the Olympics, guys. Have you heard about it at all before today?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it's an authentic thing. So they have officially, well, I guess starts on March 1st. So it's happening now as of this recording. Will be esport games, including the categories archery, baseball, chess, cycling, dance, motorsport, sailing, taekwondo, and tennis. And they do have the games listed as well. If you wanted to know exactly what game they're going to
Please, hit us with the games.
So for archery, we've got Tic Tac Bow. I'm guessing it's a phone game.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
We've got baseball, WBSC eBaseball Power Pros. Chess, the most thrilling one and the most like the actual sport, is chess.com.
There you go.
Cycling is Swift with a Z. Dance is probably the most entertaining one we'll see other than motorsport. And that's Just Dance, like I mentioned earlier. Motorsport is Gran Turismo.
Hey, let's go.
Use Gran Turismo on that one. Sailing is Virtual Regatta. Most of these games you probably don't know. Taekwondo is Virtual Taekwondo. And tennis is Tennis Clash. So
really reinventing the wheel on that one.
Yeah. I would have definitely done like Mario Tennis or something like that.
Right.
Motorsport, visually, that's like the one that's most up there other than Just Dance, really.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, those are the only two properties that that have games that people know. You know, obviously chess.com. Yeah. All right. Well, you know, if I go to chess.com,
just chess. Yeah.
Right. If I go to chess.com, I know I'm going to be playing, Connect 4. But like, just the rest of these are like, are these even things?
I guess so. That's the deals they have. I don't know.
I feel like you just gotta cut the fat, make it a little leaner, and do like why don't you throw in the RLCS like Rocket League or one of these like sports adjacent esports that they could do. This is wild.
Yeah, I was when I mean, so they've been talking about esports with the Olympics for a while now, right? I think they were actually supposed to be in Tokyo in 2020. But like when that was announced, my assumption was that they were going to take the games that people are playing already that have like international boundaries, stuff, right, yeah, and have like international boundaries and adapt those games to some sort of Olympic format,
right?
But that's not what they're doing at all.
Not at all.
And even even Gran Turismo, which I'm super happy for.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think probably would be the best one to watch because you get to see like these guys hopefully in big rigs that are built purpose built for them to play the game. Even that one, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to be in races, or is it just going to be time trials, right? Where everybody gets to just do the same lap, right? In the same car, different cars, right?
Is there going to be penalties for ramming each other off the racetrack?
Right. Well, will it, if they're not, because if they're just doing laps, then they won't be on the track, right? So it's just one person on a lap, or there'll be several of them set up doing things. Like, it would be cool to see a Gran Turismo race, right?
Yeah.
Where the physics are on, and these guys have to actually navigate
the simulation.
The simulation version of an actual motorsport, or a race. That would be cool to watch. And, I mean, there's nothing preventing them from doing both of those things. But the rest of these is like part of the beauty of the Olympics is your level of familiarity with, I can't ever say that word, with the sport that's being played.
Right.
Even if you're learning it. But like with these are sports that you've played already, but not games that you've played already.
Yeah, that's
right?
the problem there.
Or games that you've even heard of before, which, like, to me, it kind of takes something away from the game, like from my interest of those games. And then on top of that, like, do we really need to see a sailing Olympic?
Hey, it could have been Sea of Thieves or Skull and Bones. Maybe they were waiting on.
Oh my gosh, a Sea of Thieves one would be phenomenal.
No, we got virtual regatta.
Right. I don't like. Well, I'm sure that's a super duper simulation, right?
Right.
Yeah, we're not dissing the games that were chosen at all. We're just
and I'm sure like that is all about like rigging and doing all the things, but like they already have sailing in the real Olympics.
Right.
Like,
we're not there for the simulation.
Right. Nobody's, like, people aren't selling out Madison Square Garden to watch the virtual regatta, but they are selling out Madison Square Garden to watch LOL and would do, Rocket League or some, that was a game that was big enough. Heck, even the Call of Duty League, right? Like, or Overwatch, or
how Halo used to be.
Right. Any of those games that have competitive leagues built around them already, where these people are already playing, like, we don't need them to recreate existing Olympic sports,
right,
for them to do Olympic esports.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Even like speed running, like throw in a category for like speed running Mario 64, right? And like people tune in like crazy for that stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the licensing part, right? Which
sure,
right? Like, but you do get Just Dance, which has
didn't they already like partner to some degree with Nintendo for the Tokyo Olympics? Or was that just Nintendo capitalizing on the?
Right. Well, I think it was little column A, little column B.
Sure.
But the Tokyo Olympics was far more muted than it was supposed to be. Far more muted in 2022 or whenever it was, than it was supposed to be in a pre-reality Tokyo 2020, right? Summer 2020. So,
it's mind blowing.
This is a weird thing to me.
It almost seems like it's not real, but it is.
Right. Well, but it also, you know what this reminds me of? anytime you watch those award shows, and in the breaks between presenting awards, they talk about the awards that people won in the show before the show began, right? And they've got like 37 of those, and there's all these people that you've never heard of, and all these categories that you're like, what? That's an actual category, right?
Yeah.
That's what this feels like, right? And that's not the way that this is supposed to feel if you're trying to show the world, and you're trying to show younger people, which is what exactly this is trying to draw, right? People that historically haven't been watching the Olympics because historically they haven't been around that long, but they play video games. You're not drawing them in to the Olympics with these sports at this time.
Yeah. So
right?
This is my concern too, is like, when this fires off and the response isn't like to the metric that they want, they don't get the number of viewers, they don't get the participation, do they look at this and say, like, do they incorrectly say, like, screw esports, this didn't work, we tried it?
Right.
Or do they look at it objectively and say, like, people don't want to watch Sailing Simulator, unless it's in something more entertaining? Yeah, I'm with you, Cicero.
Yeah, I think it's I know that question was somewhat rhetorical, but also real, right? Like I do think it's the former instead of the latter, right? Like, is that this was the choice that they made, right? Somebody had to be sitting around asking the question, like, oh, we're going to do esports. What sports do we do? Right.
Yeah.
And the answer was, well, archery and sailing and, right? Like, and taekwondo, right? Like they should have got
maybe they just don't understand gaming, they don't understand the gaming aspect of sports.
Well, yeah. I mean, that part is clear.
Yeah.
Right? But who are the experts? Who are the Olympic level players that are chess.com? That's easy, no problem, right? But who are the virtual taekwondo Bobby Fishers, right? Like, who's that person?
And I want to who had the foresight 5 or 6 years ago to be like, I'm training for virtual taekwondo.
Taekwondo, right? I'm getting my black belt in virtual taekwondo.
Oh my god!
Because one day I'm gonna be in the Olympics.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, great point.
Well, that's a perfect segue, because if you do know any of these games or want to be in the Olympics for this next year, you can go to Olympics.com and hit the Play Now button, register, and you have up until May 15th to qualify. So.
Wow.
If you know those games, get up there, click the button, register, and show your skills. I will be watching the Just Dance portion and possibly the Gran Turismo. But as for the rest, it's up in the air. I don't know.
So you're telling me I got 10 days to figure out how to be a world champ Taekwondo?
No, May 15th.
Oh, May 15th. Okay.
You got a little bit.
Nice.
Well, you got 10 days to decide if you're going to put in training for the next 2 months.
Right.
So that you can
just cue the Rocky montage.
Right, exactly.
But in all seriousness, they haven't released any numbers of how many registered people. So you could have low numbers and be in a high percentage.
That's awesome.
Man.
If only 4 people, try out, and one of them's been trying out for like
the trophy was.
Right. This is so ill-conceived that it has to be real.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't write this.
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah, straight from Olympics.com. That's what's crazy about it. Okay, on to our next subject, which is a little bit more palatable. The Quest 3 is it better than the PSVR 2? There's a lot of information that came out about it, which it will most likely be more expensive than the $400 price tag for Quest 2. It's got pass-through front-facing cameras, which allow you to have mixed reality, which is their term, which isn't as immersive as full virtual reality, but it allows you to keep it on for longer, being in that mixed AR element zone.
Right.
Cicero, will you be picking up a Quest 3?
It depends. Does it depend? No, of course I will. Right? Because I get all the dumb stuff. but I do what I will say on top of that is that I do kind of understand the thought process behind that, right? It's not that they're giving up on VR, but that what if they want to make a more mass market product, mixed reality is where you need to go for mass market, right? Because people don't, generally speaking, people don't want to completely cut themselves away from the world, right? They don't want to be in a virtual world, at least not yet, right? But they will be more receptive to the virtual world if they first have a chance to see what like augmented reality can mean for them in their kind of day-to-day life or in life that they can see. And once they start doing that, then that could be a bridge to VR. But it also gives Meta the ability to sell both products in concert, right? So you can get a Meta Quest 3 and it be a technically more powerful handset than a Quest 2, but it does the same thing fundamentally different in such a way that if you want to try actual virtual reality, you can buy a Quest 2 probably, for a discounted price or whatever. It's obviously going to be cheaper at some point. And you can do that and use that as well.
Yeah. One of the only digs they really took at PlayStation without even taking it at PlayStation was you can walk effortlessly through your house knowing you can see perfectly well, not tethered by a wire.
Right.
So I ask you, Jarret, is it better than the PSVR 2 because you have freedom?
I think it offers different things, right? Like sometimes you want that actual immersive situation. So I used to work down in Huntsville, Alabama. I worked in Army research, and a lot of my stuff was in virtual and augmented reality. And I think Cicero's right. Like this serves two different audiences, or maybe the same audience, but two different preferences. Because we tested flight simulators, was the job I was involved in. And there is a staggeringly large amount of people who get just horrible virtual reality sickness. And augmented reality offers a way to handle both of those things where you still have that virtual aspect, but it's not as disorienting. It's not going to cause that wicked vertigo. And there's even, obviously they give the warnings ahead of time, but like people have seizures inside of headsets. And one of the number one ways to prevent that is augmented reality. My brother actually just picked up a PSVR 2 and he's loving the system. It's night and day from the first one. And so I think the PSVR 2 is fantastic. And I think the Quest 3 is fantastic. And I think they serve, two different functions, but they both are very incredible machines. And the price tag is something to consider. I'm don't have a ton of expendable cash, being a parent of two boys. So I think I'll stick to my PlayStation for now, but I love what Quest is doing.
Well, they've said it's 2 times thinner than the Quest 2 and slightly more expensive than the $400 price tag. So our last thing we'll cover here is, what do you think the price will be? Predictions. Cicero, what do you got?
$499.99.
All right, Jarret.
Yeah, I think somewhere around there, even maybe closer to 600, maybe 550. I think with everything right now and the way that the embargo is going with China, I think getting parts is going to be hard for everything. And so I think the price will see a spike here soon.
I think the 500 is right about right. I think that $100 more than Quest has always been more affordable and slightly more. 600 is a little bit more than slightly, in my opinion. So,
yeah,
I think at 500. All right, that's it for the news.
I think that also they want to come in at a price point like if they're already attacking the PSVR 2, they're going to come in at a price point below
Yeah,
that.
they got to come way under. That's a good point.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. All right. On to the gaming draft. Our draft of the week is top sports games of all time. And Jarret, you get to decide the order since you won the episode. So would you like to go first, second, or third?
I'll go third.
Okay. All right. Who's going first?
Why don't you take first and then Cicero can have number 2?
Okay. Then I'm going to just jump on it and take NBA Jam. I feel like that one is worth it in weight and gold. Cicero.
Man, the first pick is the hardest. Tecmo Super Bowl.
I'm going to go with NFL Street.
Ooh. Okay.
Not fans, huh?
Right. No. I was laughing at the spelling.
Yeah, just go with
it. Yes. There's things going on over there.
All right.
But
no, NFL Street.
Yeah.
NFL Street's good. I like that game. But I prefer a different game in the football scene, which I'm just going to copy and paste over because I was more of a fan of Blitz. Much more adult themed, gruesome football. And I'm going with Blitz the League 2.
Nice.
All right, nice. Cicero.
This one is also tough. Oh man. This one is you know what? Easy, actually. It's a system seller for me. MLB The Show.
Okay. Do you have a specific year? You get all of them, so no one can pick one. So would you like to pick your favorite?
I'm gonna pick MLB The Show. I think 17. No, what year is this? This is 2023. So I would say 19. 19. I think that's the one with Aaron Judge on the cover.
Okay. Jarret?
That was before they went to PS5 and Xbox.
I'm gonna go Backyard Baseball. That was a formative chunk of my childhood spent on that.
Great game. All right. Well, I know I would get upset if I didn't put this on mine, and that's going to be Blades of Steel. One of the first sports games that I really got into back on the NES. Blades of Steel.
Hit the pads.
Yeah. That's the fighting, which is in the game.
Oh, you know what?
We're really throwing it back. Tecmo and Blades of Steel.
Right. Speaking of fighting, I'm going to go with Fight Night Champion.
Fight Night Champion?
Yep.
I feel like I'm going to...
The last great boxing game before the new boxing game that just came out.
All right, Jarret.
I'm going to get torn apart for not having Madden on my list, but it's got to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
The original?
And yeah, the OG. I like American Wasteland, but not enough to put it above the first game.
All right. So our top sports games of all time, you guys, fans, get to decide down in the comments who won the draft by value or what you like most. Cicero had Tecmo Super Bowl, MLB The Show 19, and Fight Night Champion. Jarret had NFL Street, Backyard Baseball. Jeez, can't get that out of my head. Tony Hawk Pro Skater. And then I had NBA Jam, Blitz the League 2, and Blades of Steel. So let us know who you thought won that draft. And winners get rewarded an extra point for the episode. So I don't know if I said that before, but put that down there. That's our episode. Jarret, the winner.
We did it.
Go ahead and plug yourself. Where can we find you? Let us know.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Jarret the Bear. Find all of my stuff at the InfinityBros. You can check us out on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Robbie's really been holding it down on all the socials lately. Pay attention to the podcast. We have probably our biggest guest of all time here coming up either next week or the week after. I can't talk about who it is, but let's just say a sports themed episode for this one was right on the money. So, man, I am like excited through the roof for what's coming up.
Awesome. We'll have all your links down below. Also, his Twitter is right on the screen for you guys. Thank you. If you guys are still here and enjoying it, let us know. We definitely appreciate all the love you can send our way. Cicero, you had fun? Jarret?
Of course I did.
Heck yeah.
Jarret, the winner over here.
Yes, you did it.
And that's our show.
I'm a lucky crossbow guess. I love it.
Right.